Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for joining me. Today we've got a gang from the West Midlands who has been jailed for a series of robberies that took place last year. Altogether they stole a lot of money. The police have released the body cam footage that shows one of the raids taking place where they threaten a security guard who was armed with an axe when they actually did this. It happened at a petrol station gate before he was marched into the back office, this security guard. He was then attacked with the axe and left with a fractured cheekbone, and as the gang screamed for money to be handed over, the thugs escaped with £75,000 and the shaken worker was left so traumatised that he later resigned. A major investigation led by the West Midlands Regional Organised Crime Unit ROCU unmasked the gang and proved their involvement in two other robberies. In February 2018, Ashley Bow, Marcus Cohen and Thomas Bruce put on balaclavas and forced their way into a co-op shop in Stretton in Derbyshire. It was just as staff was opening up at around 6 AM in the morning. Workers were tied up with cable ties and threatened with a crowbar before the gang made off with £13,000 stamps and lottery cards. The gang, joined by another man, Connor Sanderson, struck on the 6th of March last year at a Texaco garage on Black Prince Avenue in Moor. As well as the terrifying body cam footage, CCTV shows how Charlene Shaw, Cohen's partner at the time, acted as a lookout, keeping an open phone line to him before, during and after the raid. So that would definitely have been a massive part of the evidence that they used to open the phone line, to be able to keep an open phone line so the police could determine that they was in the area during this robbery, is a massive part of evidence, definitely. She was in the car outside the garage monitoring the guards' movements, and after the gang struck she even ran in to offer them help, but in reality she was hoping to pick up on information the police would gather in the aftermath of the robbery. The final raid was in Cheshire, Leicestershire, and it was another co-op, and it happened again just before 6 AM on the 10th of May. 3 men forced their way into the shop using crowbars. Staff were locked inside the office and raised the alarm, but the men got away with cash, stamps and CCTV from the scene. So that time they actually made sure they covered their tracks with the CCTV. After Sanderson, Cohen and Bow were arrested for another burglary, they were interviewed in prison about the robberies, and Bruce and Shaw were arrested separately. Evidence against the gang included text message conversations discussing stolen cigarettes, and also CCTV footage showing gang members carrying out reconnaissance of targets, so going there to check out the vicinity, see who's about, see if it's an easy sort of raise, and footage of some of the men wearing the clothes before they did the raid. So some people they actually could match that, and that evidence is pretty much bang to rights. There is one other man, Scott Bowman, who has currently not been found yet. So 3 of them had no fixed address, but I've already gone over it. It's quite common nowadays to have no fixed address if you're a criminal. The other was from Hinckley in the West Midlands and Coventry in the West Midlands as well. The police officer involved, Ronan Tyre, said it was a really violent gang whose members were very well known in the area. The body-worn video speaks for itself and shows just how awful this ordeal was. They used high level of violence to get what they wanted, with a total disregard for their victims. Their victims recovered from the physical injuries, but the ordeals they went through will have a lasting effect. There was some fantastic police work done here, they said, and the long sentences should act as a deterrent. But as I'm sure you're aware, when people are desperate and people need money, it doesn't deter them at all. £75,000, no matter how quickly you can get through it, it's still a lot of money. So it's a terrible story to hear that the security guards, when you see it from this perspective, when you see how scared scary it must be for the security guards that go through this. You can understand that, but at the same time, this is a very, very common crime at the minute. There is actually another case very similar to this that they've been convicted on the other day, and they were based in North Wales in Rhyl. They actually was in a caravan park. They used it as a base, an operational base, so they could strike at places in Cheshire, Greater Manchester, Yorkshire and Wales. It was also a way they thought of staying off the police's radar, the perfect place to lie low. They mingled with friends and plotted elaborate heists that netted them more than £400,000. The spree went on for nearly a year. The gang's prolific nature meant opportunities for cops to gather intelligence were numerous. Finally, at around 4 a.m. on February the 15th this year, a stolen VW Golf was pulled up outside the post office in Lees Road in Oldham, Manchester. Inside was Philip Clark, Lewis Merkin and Ryan Wilson. One of them got out and moved towards the cash machine and started attacking it. Within seconds, the men were pinned to the ground by armed police. It was the 15th time they had set out to blow up an ATM. The spree was over. By piping gas into the machines, then igniting it, it caused an explosion, which then netted £418,500. Nearly all the raids were at co-op stores and always between midnight and 5 a.m. Members of the five-strong gang, including Michael Cash and Martin Goldstraw, are now facing lengthy prison sentences. Sergeant Rick Hasley of the GMP, Greater Manchester Police, said serious and organised crime group that they were now arrested, and the gas canisters in the back of their car and all the cutting equipment they was caught with. We had a surveillance operation. We were behind them that day. It was clear what they was going to do. Operation Cass, which was launched by the police following a strike of ATM offences in mid-2018. Machines were blown up and safes were opened with angle grinders. It was early 2019 when we started a proactive investigation and started looking at certain people, Castley said. The Stockport-based gang struck twice in one day in a picturesque village in North Yorkshire and Wales in March 2018. Both attempts failed, as did the next two, but the following one, the fifth, in home territory in Stockport, the men escaped with £91,170. It was quite unique, people blowing up ATMs, said the police officer. There are not many people with the expertise or knowledge. You are looking at one or two teams doing it in the region. By the nature of the methods, we've identified 14 offences at least being linked. The police combed CCTV footage, looking for offenders in similar clothing to the ones in different incidents. They examined the roles they played, the cars they used, and detectives trawled through telephone data to map the raids. We looked at the offending patterns, said the sergeant. It was in Stockport, some of them, then Cheshire and North Wales. It looked like it was predominantly around Stockport. Police looked at key players at certain types of burglaries and robberies in the town. We just tried to narrow it down with the intelligence to build up a picture. That's how they identified the group. They used gas in the machines to cause the explosion and get the cutting equipment inside. But what happens is the people who sponsor these machines, they put more and more security measures in every single time. It might be a steel bar, an additional lock. The gang created a gap in the face of ATMs to insert the gas. The companies that operate them now put a gas suppressant in them to nullify the gas to prevent an explosion. So the police say 7 of the 15 raids failed, but the other 7 were successful. During the final operation, the gang was busted. In each incident, stolen high-powered vehicles, BMWs and VW Golfs on false plates were used. The gang was very organised and there was from Stockport, but they set up a base at a caravan park in Rhyl. We believe they would go from Manchester to the caravan park, do all the precursor activity, get the stolen vehicles, get the clothing, and then they would return to commit the crimes and then go back to Wales to be out of the area. If they were travelling over several boundaries covered by different police forces, they thought it would be safe. They was well known in Manchester but not in Cheshire or North Wales. Merkin has a criminal history. In 2010, he and his associate Philip Clark were part of a team that was jailed for carrying out 20 robberies and stealing £1.8 million worth of jewellery. From March the 1st, 2018 to the gang's arrest on February the 15th, there was 36 attacks on ATMs across Manchester in which there was an explosion. There was 7 in Cheshire and 6 in North Wales. Since the the men were detained, there had been none in Greater Manchester, 3 in Cheshire and 1 in North Wales. Lewis Merkin, 33, of Stockport, Philip Clark of Manchester, Ryan Wilson of Stockport and Michael Cash of Stockport pleaded guilty to conspiracy to cause an explosion likely to endanger life or property and conspiracy to commit burglary with intent to steal at Manchester Crown Court. Martin Goldstraw, 43, of Tapley Close, Stockport, pleaded guilty to commit burglary. The 5 men will be sentenced at a later date. 3 of the robberies was an attempt. On the 2nd of April, the Co-op in Stockport, they got £91,000. On May the 18th, 2018, the Co-op in Lower Denning Road, they got £57,000. On August the 21st, 2018, at the Co-op, another Co-op, they got £44,000. On August the 24th in Oldham, they got £87,000. In November the 4th, they got £29,000. December the 3rd was an attempt. January the 4th was an attempt. And January the 5th in Co-op, they got £100,000 in Macclesfield. And then they got £7,000 from a Co-op in Stockport. These gangs, as you can see, and I would like to highlight the fact they are majority white guys. Again, as I said, if you move up the geography up north, the crimes and the people that are committing them, their races will change. Just because in Birmingham and London it's got a lot of the multicultural, up north it is majority white, so you will see the crimes change, as so do the areas that you live in. So I'd love to hear what people have to say on these stories. A lot to think about here. So thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Peace.